Well, the 1990 team was a very experienced team. You know, Gary Lineker, Peter Shilton, Brian Robson. I was 27, had 15 England caps, and it was a team full of experience. And with experience, you expect a certain level of consistency. This young England team, you look at the players who've been around for 1 year, not playing for England for 1 year, playing in the Premier League for 1 year. Dele Alli, Stones, you know, Raheem Sterling. So I think that potentially, as Wayne Rooney says, this team potentially could be a great England side, but at this moment it's a little bit early. I would look at this England team in 2 years' time in the World Cup to say we can then demand them to be more consistent. Because we've seen it in the past with so many players potentially being able to become great players. But it's probably a little bit too soon for this team, but when Wayne Rooney said that this is the best team he's played with potentially, he's 100% right. But that is going to be realised in maybe 4 or 5 years. But for now, it's a little bit early for them, but potentially they can be a fantastic England team. If you look at the team, I don't think Wayne Rooney could. I don't know if they have any rappers in the team. Jordan Henderson couldn't. Harry Kane couldn't. Maybe Dele Alli. I mean, Dele Alli looks like he's got a bit of rhythm, so maybe he could. Talent is not enough. Get away from this celebrity mentality of wanting to be a superstar footballer who plays for the top teams and drives flash cars. You have to work hard, you have to be dedicated, you have to have humility. And unfortunately, that doesn't go a lot with the modern phenomenon of superstar footballers. But if you want to look at any player who you admire, let's talk about Rooney, Messi, Ronaldo, the talent is not enough. You see the work that actually puts in Monday to Friday for them to perform on Saturday. So talent alone is not enough. Hard work and dedication is what you need. Well, I'll be 100% honest. I've not got a clue how they're going to do. What I do feel is that they will go through from the group, but can we say we're going to go to the quarterfinals? If we get to the last 16 and we play Spain, I don't think we'll beat Spain. Or if we play France, I don't think we'll beat France. So when you have tough competitions and you say you think we're going to do well, before you know who you're going to play, that's dangerous. All we know is that the 3 teams that we're actually playing means we should be first or second in that group to go through. And then if we get a favourable draw, we can go through to the quarterfinals. We get another favourable draw, we can go to the semi-final. We could go all the way. But to say how we're going to do when we don't know who we're going to be playing in the last 16 or the quarterfinals is difficult. But what I would say is that with this young inexperienced England team, and we've seen where we've beaten Germany, but then we lost to Holland who qualified and wasn't the greatest performances against Turkey, Australia and Portugal. To win it, you have to go through a last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, final against good opposition, playing consistently, winning 4 games. Do we believe this young England team can put 4 games together consistently to do that? If we can do that, it'll be fantastic. And that is why I really look to the World Cup in 2 years to then say I demand more consistency from them. Whereas now, you know, I think we could get to the quarterfinals. We could even go to the semi-final or even win it, but we just don't know because we don't know who we're going to play. Well, the current player we're allowed to play with, had you asked me a couple of years ago, would have been Steven Gerrard. But if you talk about his current crop in England now, it has to be Wayne Rooney. Because Wayne Rooney epitomises what it is to be a team player. He plays in midfield, he's asked to play right back, asked to play anywhere, he does it for the team. So Wayne Rooney. Liverpool shouldn't sell Coutinho if an offer of £100 million comes in if Coutinho wants to stay. And Liverpool should sell Coutinho if an offer of £5 million comes in if Coutinho wants to leave. The most important thing is you want the player to be at the club. So if he wants to stay at Liverpool, I will have him no matter what they offer. And if he doesn't want to be at Liverpool, I will sell him no matter what they offer. I think Harry Kane will be the England top scorer because I think that for England to win matches, we're not going to outplay teams and score goals from different avenues. It'll be the centre forward who scores goals. So for me, I think that he will start as a centre forward and he will be our main goal scorer. Roy's 2016 team maybe in 12, 3 or 4 or 5 years time when they get experience, depending on how it goes, because we don't know how they're going to progress, but potentially they could. But I don't think at this moment in time, when we've had players who've only been around in the Premier League for 1 year, completed team, that in 1990 was full of experienced players who've had 6-7 years of experience playing in the Champions League at the highest level. Well, Liverpool in the 80s against Barcelona, depending on what rules we were playing. I think if we're playing in modern rules, Barcelona would win. But if we're playing rules from from the 80s when we were allowed to get stuck in, without giving free kicks or without getting yellow and red cards, I think we would definitely win. But I'll be the manager, because I'm picking the team, so I'll put myself in the team. And I would have to go with Ray Clements in goal, Phil Neal at right back, Alan Hansen and Tommy Smith, Alec Lindsay at left back. In midfield, I would go for Graham Souness and Stephen Gerrard in the middle. On the left, I'll go with Stevie Highway. On the right, I will go, in fact, I would probably play, interestingly, very strangely, Ronnie Whelan, who can play anywhere across the middle. And up front, while you can pick so many players, it has to be Russian Dalglish up front.